If you have ever felt like a failure or you are afraid to move forward because you might fail, then this is the perfect episode for you to listen to as we move into the new year. Hello and welcome, Jacqui here. Welcome to Your Inner Landscape, and today I'm going to keep it super short and sweet and talk about something that we all carry quietly and don't really talk about it because it's uncomfortable. That is failure. Because when you're building something or changing something or putting yourself out there or even working on your health in any way, you've probably told yourself at least once that this didn't work or I failed. But here's the reframe I want to offer you today. Most things don't fail. They are just giving you feedback. And every successful person takes their failure and turns it into feedback and turns it into information and data. So failure is a story that our nervous system tells us when it feels unsafe. And then there's feedback, which is just information that we can use to move forward and to grow and to change. So when something doesn't work, the body often, it goes straight into threat, right? Maybe it's shame, maybe it's overthinking, maybe it's pulling back, maybe it's saying, I didn't do it right, I can't do this, I failed. And we don't just question the moment, right? We question ourselves. We question, can we do this? We start doubting and spiraling in this negative way. But when we flip this around and we use it, this is feedback. This isn't attacking any identity. This isn't questioning you or doubting you. It's just showing us where we need adjustment, where we can shift, right? It's like being a scientist and you're in a science experiment or, right? We're just learning and changing and testing things out. And this shift, it's super, super subtle, but it's so powerful. And it's all happening internal, right? This isn't something we can really see. I mean, you could see it in someone's physiology if they felt like they failed and then they registered it quickly and said, wait, how can I learn from this? So instead of asking, what did I do wrong? Or why does this keep happening? Or what's wrong with me? Or am I broken? Maybe you've been trying a bunch of different protocols, or maybe you keep trying supplements, or maybe you're trying to get out of the job or, this relationship. Instead of asking, what am I doing wrong? Why does this keep happening? Start asking, what is this teaching me? What worked even a little? Or what is ready to be refined and tweaked here? Because when we use this feedback filter, it's totally neutral, right? It's like there's no judgment. It's just this feeling of acceptance. So it's not telling you to halt and pause and put the brakes on and give up and quit. It's usually just telling us that, it's not like that, or maybe try it a little different, or maybe not yet, or with more clarity, or, what can you learn from this so you can move on and move forward? And I've had moments like this so much, whether it was, whether I'm building a garden and the plant dies, or whether I was, in my ski career, I had a lot of this come up where I would get fourth place and I'd be like, oh, what did I do wrong? I'm broken. I can't do this. I'm not successful. I'm not good enough. And then it's like, well, wait, what can I do to tweak this, to change this, to get better, to move forward? And, this could also be even in an event I've hosted where I was hosting a new moon event. And afterwards I was like, oh, I failed because, I don't even know why I thought that. I had 17 people show up. And so it's just this looping pattern that I've had to readjust and say, okay, so at that event specifically, it was like I tried to fit too much into the event and I didn't get to really drop in with people. And so it wasn't, oh, I did it wrong and I can't do this anymore. It was more like, okay, in the next event, I'm going to pull out some techniques, pull out some processes, and I'm going to just sit with the group and see what comes up, because that was what the feedback was from the group. So this isn't a failure. It's actually awesome, because when we put things into motion and put things into action, we actually can learn how to grow and create a more refined version of whatever we're doing. So Another moment I had where something didn't land the way I hoped is, I've done multiple launches that either it was crickets or, people didn't sign up. And at first my body fully goes into collapse mode, and meaning I failed, I'm doing this wrong, da 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 da. But when I really pause and sit with it and I go, okay, what's the feedback here? And it's often, oh, that wasn't actually in alignment with what I want to do. Or, hey, I actually didn't put myself out there nearly enough. Or, maybe I need to tweak my messaging. Or, there's always something to refine and tweak. And like I said before, the most successful people, they use this to reframe any type of failure, any time that you start spiraling and collapsing into, I didn't do it right, or this is a failure, or I need to quit and bail. So we can slow down enough to look again, and then the feedback is usually really clear. And something that I've really noticed as I keep kind of checking myself when I'm spiraling into this sort of failure piece, it's often I'm afraid of what other people are thinking. And so if we can really start to practice letting go of other people's opinions, this process is going to become a lot easier. So if you are failing, in my opinion, it means that you're in motion, you're trying things, you're taking action. And most people avoid this, right? Most people avoid the failure by just staying small and not doing anything different. But growth, it always comes with data. And if you want to call it failure, but in my perspective, it's feedback, right? It's like if you'd never learned how to fall, well, then you're not going to be a very good athlete, right? We have to fall to learn how to get back up on our feet and walk again. So here's a really simple tool you can use next time something doesn't go your way, something doesn't work. So first, name what you're feeling, whether it's disappointment, frustration, anger, embarrassment. Just name it, write it down. Don't bypass this step. It's super, super important to name the feeling. Maybe after you write all this down, you're feeling frustrated, angry. Maybe there's sadness. So second, we take that data, see actually what's the situation. Why are you making this mean that you failed? You put some information out on the internet, no one responded. So write actually what happened. So write out the facts, right? Not the story you're making it mean, just the facts. So for me in my ski career, I've been digging into kind of why I thought that I was such a failure at that, when at the same time, people always praise me for my skiing. So, the facts were I was second on the free skiing world tour. And for me, like first was the thing. And so what I made that mean was I'm a failure. I didn't get first. I'm a failure. But it's really helpful when other people came back and they're like, well, hey, you got second on the free skiing tour. Well, that's the facts. Am I going to continue to believe that that's failure? Well, yeah, of course I would want to win the whole thing. But hey, what are the facts? Not the story you're making it mean. And then after you write down the facts, choose a micro shift. What can you learn from this? What can you make this mean? What can you adjust to shift something, to grow, to enhance this practice, to, let's say it's on the internet. If no one responded, okay, do you need to post more? Do you need to shift gears? Is this feeling in alignment with you? Are you putting stuff out when you're in a shitty mood? What is it that you can shift and change so that your stuff lands better? Maybe it's not the platform. Maybe you hate Instagram and you want to move to YouTube, or maybe you need to do some live events and interact with some real live people to get some actual feedback in person. So if you're listening to this and something recent is stinging a bit or buzzing and you're like, oh, it's just kind of digging out a wound, let this just be the reminder that nothing about you is broken. You are not a failure. You are not behind. You're just refining. Because failure feels heavy, but allow that heaviness to be a lesson and feedback. So if you feel that heaviness, switch it to feedback. What is there to learn from this? Because feedback is light enough and it helps lighten the load so that we can carry this forward and refine. And the faster that we learn to read this and change the failure to feedback, the more momentum we create without burning ourselves out, right? So the faster that we can learn and shift and allow ourselves to be okay with the judgment, which really, who's really judging you anyways? Like, everyone's so concerned with their own stuff. So the faster we learn to catch ourselves when we're spiraling into, I'm a failure, I'm doing this wrong, the faster we learn to read it and switch it around and move forward and carry ourselves into the next version of whatever we're doing, so that we continue to refine and refine and refine, and then we're really proud of the thing we're doing. Okay, so that's it for today. I just wanted to pop this in before we move into the new year. I know there's so much buzzwords and so much stuff around, what are you going to create in 2026 and da-da-da-da-da. And so a lot of it, people are like, well, I'm glad that year's over. And I'm like, well, hey, don't just throw it out. You know, what do they say? Throw the baby out with the bathwater. Hey, let's not do that. Let's bring the baby back and the bathwater and assess what's going on here. What do you believe that you failed in 2025? And how can you take that as beautiful evidence and data and move into 2026 with this refinement? What can you learn from what happened in 2025 so that you can move on and move forward, creating the life that you want and designing exactly what you want to create in this next year? And I'm super excited to continue this journey with you. I am refining so much over this last year. 2025 was like a massive shedding and refining and tweaking and turning for me. So I'm really excited to show up for you guys in 2026 and help you really understand this process of designing your life and creating a life that is meaningful and purposeful and makes you feel alive and fulfilled and excited and successful and all of it. Because when we work with the mind and our health, it's amazing to see what is possible for you. I mean, it is so amazing. You can't even see what's possible for you right now because you're carrying around all this baggage and this shit about what you think is true and what you believe. But the cool thing is, as you strip away these layers and you reframe failure into feedback, you actually start to see that there is so much opportunity for you out there. And it's not even in the scale that you think. The more and more I do this work, I'm like, wow, there is so much opportunity in every direction. So take this with you into the new year, and I'm so excited to work with you in this new year and continue to grow and change and shift and evolve with you. And yeah, have a beautiful new year, and I will see you on the other side.